So this is an explanation of my one reactor solution to um, more than machine. I've optimized this. Now it's 115 cycles. So I rely on aluminum oxide and chromite being inputted into the reactor in a specific sequence. That sequence is exactly 3 aluminum oxides in a row and then 1 chromite. If there's anything that doesn't come in properly, then I'll have to get rid of it as waste. So this reactor first makes this 8 loop of Al and O, and then it'll debond one of the oxygens to make this kind of weird shape. I'm making my ruby crystal in a very strange conformation because this allows me to reuse sticks of ALO, 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 etc., etc. So that's why it's shaped like this, and you can see that there's like OALO between the two aluminums that border the chromium, and if you count that, it's the same 5 atoms around here. I debond all of the extra oxygens and store it into this corner for waste for when it gets obliterated in about 60 cycles. I'm just going to speed past that. I have a sensor here used to hold red on a sensor here so that it senses when the laser fires and it can continue doing whatever. Right after the laser fires, I have a pause command. The reason why I have this is because I need to actually special case out some of my inputs because it's a random input. My next input is chromite, and that doesn't fit into my 3 aluminum oxide plus chromite thing, so I have to get rid of it. So to do that, I hit Control B, which brings over exactly one alpha input and moves it into this output zone. It rotates twice and drops it on the sensor so I can tell when it needs to be outputted. So again, this detects when the laser fires. Or, well, see, if you don't have this crystal in here, it'll still fire and it'll still get rid of everything in this reactor. It just won't actually fire a laser. You can see there's no laser coming out. Now my next sequence is 3 aluminums and then a chromite, so I can get rid of my Control B, reset my Control A, and now it'll go make the next one. So once again, I have blue to take out the sticks, red handles all this waste. Red has 2 sensors here that each that is able to tell. It's essentially like a 3 count flip flop here, where this AL goes the second time, and then this O goes the third time, and that third time makes red break out of this loop, and it's all controlled by blue here, and then red will process this while blue processes the chromite. I have the 3 sensors, or sorry, the 3 bonders here in a specific orientation so that it just lops off everything that isn't the chromium and leaves all the other garbage right there. It's very convenient. Blue sync has to wait here because if it continues onwards over here, this sensor is again used to special case out the branching. And if blue doesn't wait here, it'll actually hit this aluminum sensor and go upwards, which I can't have happening. Then blue comes in, bonds in the chromium, red will come in and finish off the last part of the crystal. There's this big rotate here, which is well within the bounds of the reactor, and then red will sync waiting until blue gives the command to fire. So I have to wait for that cycle because the boss is not in the right position. So after this firing, the boss is still in the position and will actually linger here for enough that I can go again. So I don't hit Control B, and this will automatically keep running. If I have Control A, it'll continuously fire if the inputs are all correct. I mean, otherwise it'll crash. Now I have 4 in a row, and I have to get rid of all those. So here's the first one. Now notice that with how I'm grabbing it with 2 grabs, I'm grabbing onto this atom or this atom. If I rotate twice, I always have an oxygen on the sensor. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I have to turn this off and create my input again. I have to wait another cycle again, and then I can fire. Now I have to get rid of 2 more atoms, and then I have my last crystal right there. So Control B once, twice. Now I create my last crystal, and I just time it for that. And that's how you do this in 115 symbols, 1 reactor, and 4,713 cycles. The cycles is essentially the same every single time because you're automating the laser firing. You can get this down by building up a huge pipe, and because the very first xenon does nothing, so it takes out no atoms actually. And yes, you could buffer it out so that you use the first one to hit the boss, but this just looks way more elegant. So yeah, there are cycles to be cut, but I'm not feeling up for it. All right.